in hot, and I'm going to share one thing after the next thing after the next thing. And I invite you to write down or share below and comment what things are pinging you of what's coming up to the surface, because we are here to release, to relieve, to realize our own alignment, our power within, beyond the programs and conditionings that the world have told you to just be normal and to be true for you. When we get to decide and actually ask, what is the truth for me in this moment right now? The subconscious reprogrammer, there are so many things that I continue to see with people that I work with that come up to the surface over and over again. And so today I want to bring this, enlighten this remembrance in you, because you know all this already. It's just deep within, and see what resonates today. So again, I'm going to come in hot. I'm going to show you this perspective because I want you to be more free and clear in mind, body, soul, spirit. And the idea is that we are constipated in the mind. Okay, and hold with me here. We have so much of that programming, of that data, holding back our real self, our real way of processing and systems. So like a computer with a bunch of open tabs, it's not going to run the way we want it to run and as efficient and effective, because there's too much going on within the processor. Our mind is a processor, and our world is a movie screen. And I talk about that a lot here. But when you really understand this concept, so within, so without. And so when the within is constipated, even our bodies, right, it can't work optimally. So we want to move it through. And I'm going to, again, get right into it today. So take a big deep breath in, deep breath out, and just allow these messages to come through however they need to land, because they will land differently for every soul here. And I'm so grateful that you're here for it today. So I may do this in 2 parts. We'll see how it goes, because there's a lot that I want to share with you, because I want you to be the freedom, the abundance within that you are. So just for a moment, if you close your eyes and you just imagine cutting a lemon, a nice sharp knife, and you're slicing whichever way you like. From there, you're noticing the juices may be pouring out on the cutting board or plate, wherever you have it on. And ever so slightly, you're going to pick up one wedge or one half that you cut. Maybe you cut more, you got to decide. You are the controller of the knife and lemon. And slowly bringing it up to your mouth, but do not take in any of the juices. Just notice it, maybe even smell at the tip of the nose. And then ever so slightly bringing it to the tip of the lips. And ever so slightly just bringing out the tongue, the very tip of the tongue, and placing it on the juices of the lemon, the flesh. And then slowly opening your eyes and noticing what's happening in your mouth right now. Is there more saliva or something different? And I love this exercise because it reminds you of the power of your mind. There's no lemon here, but your mind experienced it to be real, is why there was things happening in the mouth. And if nothing happened in the mouth, it's okay. But if something did, it's showing you this, the power of your mind. And that's what I'm going to talk with you more about today. So anytime you need the recharge of how powerful you are inside your mind, even if sometimes a lot of mind chatter happens or perseverating or looping or anxiety or fear shows up, it is powerful, and it's what we feed it. No pun intended with the lemon. Okay, your mind is a 5-year-old, your deeper subconscious. 5% of how you think is conscious, meaning what you normally do when you're not really thinking. 95% is ran from the subconscious mind. When we know this, we know that the power to unlock is in the subconscious mind. So we want to speak to it like a 5-year-old. So when I'm working with people, you want to get to roots that a 5-year-old will understand, because many times when people are coming with money blocks and people pleasing and these things of kind of slang word, I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop, that's not hitting the actual subconscious program. Because you were going up to a 5-year-old and telling them these things, they'd be like, what do you mean? You know, I have this inner child, and they'd be like, what do you mean I have this inner child? They'd actually be fearful, like, there's this inner child in me? That's kind of weird, creepy maybe even. We get to make it light and playful, and this work is always so fun. And we get to uncover, again, the roots, the weeds, and pull them out, not just clip them on top. So when we realize that our mind is a 5-year-old, we get to have fun with it. And we also get to experience our humanness and be kind and gentle to it, and remind it that it's adorable, and it's just figuring out this human thing, because it was a soul one day, and decided to come here and be a human in a body with a mind. So many times I like to work with people and myself and just pause sometimes when I'm noticing things showing up and going, you're adorable. How cute is that? Right? And so also we can go with things that we notice about narratives, movie reels that are happening in the mind, because they're not yours. They just came into your programming at some point. And we just go, that's interesting. We don't have to go, that's bad, that's good, that's wrong, that's right. We get to just go, that's interesting. That's interesting that I have this fear. That's interesting that I look at things this way. So using the word, I'm adorable, and that's interesting, is going to help unlock and at least ease and bring some neutrality, which is really all we're trying to get to, is neutrality of the mind. And that will help along the way. All right, next up, I want you to understand anger and anxiety. And these are kind of new ways and new perspectives to think about. Anger is a threat to you or someone, just like a mama bear to a baby cub, right? If something's approaching it, an animal, a lion, right? The mama bear is going to tense up in the jaw to be able to bite. Now, us as humans aren't going around biting people, but that is what's going to happen. So if you have a tight jaw, even in your sleep, you're doing that, that's anger being stored. So really, if you look at anger is pointless. It's not going to help us because we don't want to bite people. But noticing that and realizing there's no threat to your baby cub within, we can look at it, your 5-year-old's being threatened in a moment. So when someone's saying something to you, you notice you're triggered and going, oh, and need to attack, that is something didn't feel safe with when you were probably about around 5 years old or when you were younger. So again, we just say, hey, I'm safe here. And I'm going to, again, just tap a little bit on that, but know kind of the root of that anger. Anxiety is actually going to make you dumb. So everything rushes from the mind all the way to the legs to run faster. Because again, if the zebra is trying to run away from the lion, we want the legs faster. And that's really great if you're being chased by a lion. But if you're not being chased by a lion, which probably 99.9% of the time in your life you won't be, it's useless also. And knowing that it's not making you dumb, it's making you dumb. It's not making you strategic. It's not making you clear. It's not making you calm. It's not making you focused. And so when we know this, again, we look left to right, no lines chasing us. So in a moment that you're feeling anxiety, obviously, of course, breath is a great thing to come back to, because usually you're stifling your breath in some degree. Panic attacks is when you're not fully breathing. But also it's pausing and going, there's actually no immediate threat. There's no line in this moment chasing me. And that will at least give you a pattern, interrupt, and restart with that. So in anger and anxiety, 2 ways of thinking to see how they land for you and work with you along the way. And let's do another one for today as well. I want you to imagine, again, we use these things, these threat mechanisms that are happening in the mind because it's been what it knows, what's familiar. And so again, if we're doing 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 is happening in your processor right now, we get to interrupt it with 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 5, 0, 1, 3. And these are things that are going to help that move through. And knowing that words are your wand. Words are your wand in your mind out loud. And this is none of this is fear-mongering. I don't believe in fear-mongering. That's kind of happened in a lot of marketing in the world. And so know that here, that's not my intention and not what I'm here to be and do. But knowing that words are your wand, that what you say is creating your reality and what you think is creating your reality. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you understand and guide you back home to your truth, of your true dialogue within, so without, and seeing that. So when you're gossiping and talking negatively about people or even yourself, you're creating that. When you're labeling yourself or others, you're creating that. So something to keep mind of when you're noticing yourself being like, I always this, or I'm this, or I have this. That's your identity. And your personality is your personal reality. So being mindful of that process. So mine, again, doesn't know what's real from what is not. Just that was what the lemon exercise was. So being aware of this when you're creating these fear loops in your mind, right? Are you wanting that to happen? No. So change the narrative. Well, what's the best case scenario of this thing that I'm fearing? And get playful with it. Kids are just incredible because they're in their imagination and they're not afraid to dream big and explore and do the unimaginable. And they don't look at it as impossible. They just look at it as they're an incredible creator. And then we lose that along the way. So we get to come back now and tap back into that fun play imagination. So, because really imagination is magic nation. You're magic. And kids realize that. They don't question that at all. Feed your possibilities over your limitations. What would that be like? To know that you were limitless, to know that you are so powerful beyond what you can comprehend, and play from there. So let's just take a pause and take a big deep breath in. Maybe close the eyes. Deep breath out. Just let it all land. Let it all be a remembrance to who you really be. That you get to come home into this vessel and be free. Because it starts within. Nothing outside of you is going to make you feel free or joyful or happy, maybe for short-term instant gratification, but not long-form contentment, peace. And let's end here, and I will come back with a second part of coming in hot with these ways of thinking for you. Sit with these, see which ones came up to the surface most for you, and share below. I want to know what things resonate so that I can continue to bring you ways of thinking that are useful for you along the way. And you can always reach out if you have more questions. I lead group containers live that are just shifting shit in a deeper way in such short periods of time that you don't know what's possible until you experience it. And also you can reach out. There is one-on-one availability too, because your freedom internally in the mind is my ultimate mission here. So much love. And I'll see you next time for part 2.